Hello, everybody. It's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly episode number 281 for October the 8th, 2024. So we are well into the first third of the month, and the weather is starting to change a little bit. I'm still wearing shorts and sandals. I hate to give those up, but I have a feeling one of these mornings I'm going to wake up and it's going to be very frosty. But currently, it is a balmy 7 degrees C at just before 7 a.m. in the morning. And I think the high is supposed to be 19, so that'll be very pleasant. Okay, let's look at some other pleasant things, shall we? Things that bring me joy. And that's my latest creations. And here they are. These are my Thanksgiving table napkins that I've made. As you know, if you've been watching me, we have my sister's family coming here for Thanksgiving dinner on Sunday. That's Canadian Thanksgiving. We are always a little bit before the Americans with Thanksgiving. And I'm trying to make a really nice table, excuse me, setting. So I bought this fallish fabric and I made 8 napkins. And I used my serger for the edging. So the edges are a nice rolled hem. They turned out very nice. They are double-sided, which means that I have used 2 layers of fabric. So both printed sides will show up. And it also gives your napkins a little bit more stability, I find, if you do it, no matter what. Whether you have, if you use batiks, even if you do use batiks. Yes, I have done napkins in batiks before, and they work fine. They're not quite as absorbent as quilting cotton, but they wash up fine, no problems with that. But I would still use 2 layers. It just makes your napkins feel more substantial. Now, so these are ready to go, and you're going to say, well, wait, how many people are you having? Because, you're only having 4 people. No, I am actually having 7, counting Walter and myself. I made 8 napkins, but I don't like all matchy-matchy. Well, these will match, but I think it's nice to see at a place setting, different napkins, or what looks like you've planned it out. Every other one is the same napkin, kind of a thing. And with most of these, what I will do, not with most of my napkins, when I set up a table, I stuff the napkin into the wine glass at the table. I like that fluted look. Kind of like in a restaurant. But for this occasion, I have made napkin rings. Let me show you what they look like. And there they are, little turkey napkin rings. And they will serve the purpose quite nicely. So again, I'm making elements that have to do with Thanksgiving and that all tie together. That's just the way I am. I get into this mood where I want to make sets of things, and I want to make them all fit together in some way. I don't know if that's my, obsessive compulsive tendencies. That's the word I want. Words fail me. But anyway, I think it's going to look quite nice. Now, I have the top done. I have ordered backing fabric for this. This is a Quilt of Valor. This is a quilt which is going to go to the Canadian chapter, one of the Canadian chapters of the Quilts of Valor. And I'm hoping to take that with me when I go down to the Trenton Air Force Base, which is about an hour east of me. We've been invited. I've mentioned this before. Walter and I have been invited to spend the day with the group who get together on a regular basis at the Army base, at the Air Base. What is it? Air Base, I guess. And do some Quilts of Valor sewing. So they asked me if we would like to come because one of the quilts I gave them about a year ago is being presented to a veteran. And they're doing the whole ceremony. And I was very, very honored to be asked to attend that. Something, for the life of me, I can't remember what that quilt looked like. I'll look back on things. But anyways, I have this quilt. I have another quilt I'm going to take with me too. Excuse me again. That I made some time ago. So I'm going to donate on that day 2 more quilts. And yeah, this one didn't start out like this. If you were on Sewing with Stephanie and Steven, I was working on this last Wednesday, but it was in pieces. And basically, the pieces consisted of the maple leaf blocks that you see in each of the corners. And my original thought was, well, I would just make those out of various colorways of the Old Canada maple leaf quilt fabric. And as I got working on it, I got bored. I kind of looked at it and thought, well, this is kind of boring. What can we do to jazz it up? Well, I forgot I had this panel. So I got that out, and I don't like working with panels because you know how they're never quite straight, and getting them to fit into something, you got to do a lot of fiddling around with them, or at least I do. So I started out with that in the center, and I just built from there. And I am very pleased with myself that my quilting math all worked. And it was no small chore for me. I mean, I was fairly good in math in high school, but quilting math still gives me trouble for some reason. Must be all those, finished and unfinished seam allowance things. But anyways, it all came together. I'm very pleased with how it looks. And I have ordered my backing fabric, as I said. Now, I went online because my local quilt store, which I would have rather have bought it from, do not have an extensive collection of backing fabric. And most quilt stores don't really, I guess, because of what they have to charge for it, or what they charge for it, because 108-inch backing fabric is usually in around the $30 plus a meter range. So I went online. I wanted the Old Canada line for the back of this, and it's not so easy to get. But I did find it on Yay Old Quilt Shop in Stratford, Ontario, and they had the one that I thought would work the best. It was the red maple leaf one. So I ordered 3 meters of it, and I did that on Sunday, I think. On Monday, yesterday, I got an email from, I guess, the owner or one of the people that work there saying, unfortunately, they had 2 pieces of that fabric, but neither one were 3 meters. The one was 2.03 or something, the other one was 2.11, I don't know, something like that. And is that okay? And I said, nope, sorry, I need it in 1 piece. And so she said, no problem, she'd refund my money. But she did point out that there were 2 others that she did have that might work. And one of them is the same as the red one, except in a cream wave and, light tanny browns. And I thought, yeah, that would work okay on the back of the quilt. So I ordered 3 meters of that, and I don't imagine I'll see it till maybe the 1st of next week, maybe sooner. And once it comes, this is getting slapped onto Lucy, and I'm getting it all done and ready to go when Walter and I go in November to that, I guess I'll call it a sew day at the, military aviation air base. I know there's a name for it. Words fail me. Okay, what else have I been working on? Well, you know that Adam Sews is in the process of writing patterns for a lot of his beautiful bag creations, and he just released one a week or 2 ago for a tote bag, and I have to find a picture of it. Actually, I don't have a picture of it. I have a little movie clip of it. So I'm going to insert that movie clip in here right now. I just finished Adam Sews' bag pattern, and it turned out pretty good. I really like it. I've got it here on my rotating turntable, and it wants to fall over. But it's a fairly substantial bag. As you can see, it's a good size. And the inside, all lined. And all the seams, all the raw seams are all inside and out, are all bound as well, which gives it a nice finished touch. And we have a little pocket inside, a little free-floating pocket with a zipper to it, which is kind of cool. I'd like to say this didn't give me any problems, but it did. I think Adam, nothing against Adam, because everybody has to learn when they're making a pattern for the first time. But yeah, this needs, I'm going to take it off that thing. It's sloping over. Just give me a second here. Okay, there we go.
his instructions could be a little clearer, but he had a video, and that really helped a great deal. Now, if you've never made a bag before, I don't suggest this be your first project. Make it a simpler tote than this, although this isn't that complicated, to get a feel for what you have to do, and then attempt Adam's pattern. I think that will work best. And I'm sure in the future, as time goes on, Adam writes more patterns. He's going to get even better, because pattern writing is not easy at all, because you have to kind of crawl inside the head of someone who knows absolutely nothing. And that's not always easy to do, because certain things we just take for granted from our experience as sewers, which may not be the case for those people who have never done this kind of project before. But I'm loving it. It's really great. I use soft and stable to give it a little bit of body. And it is quilted as well, which helps strengthen it. And this is Australian fabrics that I'm using, Aboriginal fabrics that I got when I was in Australia. And here's the inside again. And you can see it's a very roomy bag. You'll get a lot in there. Now, Adam has a way of doing these handles, which is a little bit fancier. I didn't do it. I just used webbing for the straps. But you could make straps, and he tells you how, where you have your fabric on the outside and you just thread your webbing inside that. And so, yeah, it gives it strength, but at the same time, it makes it really coordinate with the bag. But I kind of like these straps because they're the right color to go with this. So, yeah, did it all in an afternoon. Well, in a little bit more than an afternoon.
So that takes me to what's happening, what's coming up, what's going on. Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen, Wednesdays, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Links in the show notes. It's a Zoom. It's not recorded. All are welcome. Work on whatever you want. I think I've got to just make a video of this and just stick it in here, because I say the same thing every week, and I say it multiple times in a week, right? But honestly, we do have a good time. And we always look forward to welcoming new people who would like to join us. And, don't feel as though you have to come out every week. Life happens. But I know a lot of the ladies who come to this, and gentlemen, plan around it. They actually look forward to it. I do. And, set aside that day, Wednesdays, as a sew day for themselves. And, that's kind of a nice thing to do, because it gives you something to look forward to. It comes in the middle of the week, so hump day, as they used to call it, or whatever. And it also, it's something you're doing for yourself. Because I hear a lot of people complain all the time they never have enough time to sew as much as they would like. Well, there is enough day. There's enough time in the day. There really is, if you plan for it. I'm a great planner. You know that. I plan. And it really helps me to make the most out of any day. I like the feeling of at the end of the day, and how did I get onto this little side thing here? But I do. I like to have my day sort of planned out and on a list, and I check off the things I have accomplished that day. And when I go to bed that night, I look back on the day, kind of a little mental review, and I go, yeah, it was a great day. I got a lot of things done, and I feel like I've accomplished something. And this doesn't just go for sewing, it goes for whatever you might be doing, housework, cooking, shopping, running the errands, whatever. But it just makes you feel like you haven't wasted away precious hours. So there's always enough time in the day if you plan for it. So why not plan to spend a day doing what you enjoy? Sewing. Yeah. Stephanie and I have provided the opportunity for you. Okay. So speaking of opportunities, the registration opened on Saturday for the Idiot Quilter Fall 2024 retreat. It is filling up. We're at about 70 right now. So that means I've got about 25 spots left. So really, if you've been sitting on the fence about it, if you've been waiting for something to, out there so you can make a plan for this, do it quickly, because it will fill up. It will fill up. I don't want to scare you away, though. I don't want you to think you don't have an opportunity here to get on. It is filling up. It the first day when I opened up registration, it always, I think I had over 50 sign up right on the first day. I had a bunch more on Sunday. I had a little drib and drab yesterday, and now I expect what'll happen right now will be dribs and drabs for the next few days. Instead of them all coming in a wild fury, it'll be two or three here on this hour, two there, 1 hour on this hour, and that kind of thing. But nevertheless, those little dribs and drabs do fill it up. And really, I don't want anybody to be disappointed about it. Even if I have to say so myself, and I do, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work for me, but it's fun work. I love doing this kind of thing. I really do. It's all part of how I said I love to plan. This is part of it. But we have a great time. There are prizes. You get stuff done, and there are presenters. And these presenters are going to be really interesting. And you're going to love it. And we're going to even have, I'm going to try something new. We're going to have a panel discussion with the presenters and with my friend Stephanie of Stephanie Stitches. And we're going to talk about traditional as opposed to using technology to create your quilts and different issues that are around that. So I think it's going to be a really interesting discussion as well. Now, I don't want you to think that the whole day is plugged full of other activities and you're never going to get a chance to sew. No, I have it all figured out so that you will get maximum amount of time to sew. And everybody's really in a nice mood and have a great time. We never have any drama. And yeah, so if you've been sitting on the fence about it, get off the fence and come. Okay, so little update on donations of quilts to Hope Air, which is the foundation that takes very severely sick, I guess how you put it, people with extreme medical situations in their life that live very much in rural areas where they do not have ready access to health care. People that own planes volunteer to fly them to whatever hospital facility they need to go to, and it's free of charge. I did a whole thing about the Hope Air on Stephen and Walter Live on Sunday. So if you were there, you saw that. And if you weren't there, you might want to play the replay and go to that section of the discussion. But yeah, so right now we've had one video conference sort of to talk about the logistics of all of this, of my donating a quilt and it going up for raffle to make money for Hope Air. And yeah, I'm looking forward to working with them, and I'll keep you up to date as to what other developments there are in all of this. Okay, so that takes me to what we did on So Chatty this week, and we've started the series on Stephen Makes a Shirt, Walter's my teacher, and we talked about the shirt pattern and like the markings on it, what you need to pay attention to, and cutting out the basic pieces. And there's a little bit more to it than I thought, but it isn't hard. I was really proud of myself. We got all the pieces cut out last week. This week we're going to concentrate on the button band. That's what Walter calls it, the button band, this part here. Something we have to do with it, and I'm not sure what it is. Put buttons on it? I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, we're going to work on that and possibly work on the pocket as well. And Walter's going to show me his way of making invisible pockets, how you match up the fabric. So as you can see, this shirt has a pocket, but you don't see it. It's invisible because Walter matched it all up. There it is. Okay, so he's going to teach me how to do that as well. And of course, while he's teaching me all these things, you will be there watching it as well and learning or getting some tips or whatever from Walter. Surprisingly, Walter's a good teacher. Why do I say surprisingly? Well, because I didn't think he'd have that much patience with me. And he does. Mind you, we haven't got into anything that's very hairy yet, so there's not been any bloodletting yet. But hey, stay tuned. It probably will be. Yeah. So that the next part of this series will be coming out at the end of this week. So stay tuned. Okay, so that takes me to subscribers quilt of the week, and this comes from my friend Dana Lee Tisdale. She lives out in Regina, Saskatchewan, and she makes beautiful, beautiful creations. And here is one of her. I'm not going to say it's her best because they're all good. They're all best. This week's wonderful creation from a subscriber comes from Dana Lee Tinsdale, who lives out in Regina, Saskatchewan, and is a friend of mine. And she sent me this picture of this absolutely gorgeous creation. It's a reading pillow with a dinosaur theme, and it's for her grandson who has just turned 8. And this is a wonderful way of using up maybe some scrap fabric or even novelty fabric. And as you can see, she's included a little pocket to put your book into. And she's used her embroidery machine to do the dinosaur and the little caption, "Books are dynamite." This is absolutely beautiful, but what's even more special about this is it glows in the dark. She used glow-in-the-dark fabric, and I don't know if she used glow-in-the-dark thread or not. I don't think she did, but this is wonderful. A little boy is going to absolutely love this gift, I am sure. So thanks, Dana, for sharing that with us. And I am running low of your quilts and creations to show. So if you've got something you'd like the world to see, I would appreciate you sending me one picture of it and a little blurb about it, less than 50 words. And I will be happy to show it here on a future episode of the Idiot Quilter. And as I said, I'm getting low in my backlog of projects to show. And it doesn't have to be a quilt. It could be any piece of sewing. It could be any piece of creativity. So, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that we associate with sewing. It could be paper crafting, whatever. Because, I have part of my heart goes to paper crafting since that's what I did for many, many years. And yeah, anything creative I will love to show on your behalf. Okay, so that takes me to the YouTube channel of the week. This comes from the Opinionated Quilter. I've talked about her before. I love that lady. She's a little rough around the edges. She is opinionated, and she's not afraid to share it with you, but she always has very informative videos that I learn a lot from. And this video is no exception to this. It's about making the correct size of setting triangles for your on-point quilts. And I always have trouble with setting triangles and getting the measurements right, especially if I'm designing a pattern and I put the pattern on point. I always find it tricky, and I know there's a mathematical way to figure it out, but that seems to mysticize me because, as I said earlier, you know how I'm a little bit quilt math challenged. So she does a really good job of explaining this. So here's my review of that video. This week's YouTube of the week comes from someone that I have often mentioned before because I find her videos absolutely wonderful, very informative. And that is from the Opinionated Quilter. And this one is about making the correct size of setting triangles for your on-point quilts. And I always have a great deal of difficulty with this. And she really clarifies or clears up the mystery around cutting the right size and how to cut them properly. And this is something that I did not know, and I learned from this particular video about the straight of grain and the bias and how to cut these pieces so your border won't go wonky. So if you have trouble with inset triangles when you're putting a quilt on point, then this video you must see. And that takes me to future projects. And I already mentioned that I had done the Quilt of Valor using a maple leaf block. Well, the maple leaf block came from AccuQuilt, from my AccuQuilt dies. And I've had this die for a while, so I thought I would talk a little bit about the potential of these specialty dies that come from AccuQuilt. This week's future project is an AccuQuilt die project, and I want to make a quilt of valor, as I mentioned before, and I'm going to use the maple leaf design that this particular die cuts. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up to show you is that if you own an AccuQuilt system and you have some of their dies, go to their website and check out related patterns for the dies because they have quite a few. And here is one of those that they show you what you can do with this particular die that makes the maple leaf. And I think it's very inspiring. I really like this one, the throw quilt. But I'll often go here for certain dies to figure out what I might want to make. And as I said, I am doing a Quilts of Valor, making this maple leaf that's shown in this picture right here to the right. And I'm not doing that design, but that is the basically where I got the idea for what I'm going to do. So yeah, don't if you have AccuQuilt, go to their site, look up their patterns for the dies you might have, and even if you don't own an AccuQuilt system, it might be worth going in and looking at some of their designs because they're very easy to translate into traditional patchwork as well. So it's a great source of inspiration. So besides what I showed you earlier, what have I been working on this week? Well, you know that I'm getting ready for our Thanksgiving dinner. And one of the things that I always like to have on my dining table is a centerpiece. So here it is. So I printed all of the pieces you see here, with the exception of the leaves and the candles, I suppose, on my 3D printer. And it's sitting in the center of my table with my new Thanksgiving-like or fall tablecloth. I didn't make it. I ordered it from Amazon. And my whimsical turkey table runner, which you've seen in previous episodes of the Idiot Quilter, which I love the colors in it. And I picked up the colors using my rainbow filaments in 3D printer that are in the table runner. And yes, these are not traditional colors in the most part for Thanksgiving or fall. I don't care. I think it's bright and it's beautiful. So I took several shots of this from different angles. There's one of the big turkeys. I love him. I think he's really cool. And I made a whole bunch of little turkeys as well that can sit at each person's place setting, and they get to take it home with them. I like to do that too when I throw a dinner party. I like to have a little party favor that people can take home with them afterwards. Here's another angle. Now, I got to tell you the story about this big pumpkin. Yeah. Okay, you'll notice that there's sort of it's striped, and then suddenly at the top it turns to a solid color. Well, the story here is I ran out of filament when it got up to that point, and it had already been printing for 3.5 days solid. I didn't realize when I blew this up to a larger size that it was going to take this long. It also took that long because it is solid. It's called infill. It's the stuff that you can't see that's inside these creations to support them. And I forgot the settings on my slicer program, which I showed you a couple of weeks ago, how that works, was set for a very dense infill. And well, I could have stopped it, but I didn't realize this. I didn't really think about it until it was about halfway through the print, and I figured, M for a penny, M for a pound, let's go for it. How much filament did this take? Well, first of all, this little sucker is kind of heavy, and usually things that are made with the filament that I use are not that heavy, so this tells you how much filament is in it. There's a whole reel of filament, which is 1.1 kilograms, or about 4 pounds of filament. So this was also not a cheap little project, because a roll of this filament costs me about $30 Canadian, and it used the whole roll. However, I like how it turned out, and I think it looks great. And let's see, go here. Okay, here's another shot, and you see there's little pumpkins. Now you see these little guys here. I snuck these in here because they have a little surprise. There is a tea candle in the base of it, and there's a tea candle at the top, and they are remote control tea candles. And I showed those back on, I think, my vlog a couple of weeks ago, that I got a package of 12 of these with a remote control, and they're rechargeable from Amazon. And you can put them on a timer. And I have. So at around 5:30 in the afternoon, they light up. and I think it looks really nice. Now, all the leaves that are on here came from the dollar store, and I just cut them off, the plastic stems that they have. And there's a tray under here. Now, some of you will get upset with this. This is a tray that came in the Missouri Star Quilt Christmas box. I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before. I think it was the first year that I got it. And it's just been sitting here gathering dust because I didn't know what to do with it. Well, I glue gunned all of these pieces to that tray. So this is something that I'm going to hang on to. Have to find a storage space for it. And each year at Thanksgiving, and whether I have people for dinner or not, I'm going to put it out on the table as a centerpiece, or maybe put it in my family room on that coffee table, depending on what I've got on that. I never decorate the same way twice every year. I just grab my stuff and just start going with it. So, things change. And yeah, I am very pleased with myself for making this. This took a while to do, but I'm really happy with the end result. Yeah, I am. So shoot me. Okay, do I have any more pictures of that? No, I don't. That's it. Okay, so I'm ready for Thanksgiving. Yep. And that centerpiece and all my Halloween and Thanksgiving decorations you saw yesterday on my vlog. If you saw it, if you didn't see the vlog, check the vlog because I have them all there for you to look at. Many of the items are things that I have made over the last few years on my 3D printer. I keep adding to the collection. Yeah. And they're going to stay out until Halloween is over. And then I'm going to start to do sort of a little transition over to fall, and then that'll transition into Christmas. And as I said yesterday on my blog, I've become my mother because that's what my mother did. The house was always decorated pending the season and the holidays. She loved doing that. I only recently got into that trend. Maybe it's something to do with age. I don't know. The fact that I have a 3D printer and I need to do something with everything that I make. Okay, so that takes me to online quilt stores. This one is called the Fat Quarter. It is not the American Fat Quarter shop. This is a Canadian site because I only review Canadian quilt stores, and it is called the Fat Quarter. This week's online quilt store is very, very unique. This one is actually a mobile store, and they have a big trailer that is loaded with fabric. And it says our mobile shop consists of an oversized enclosed trailer equipped with all of our fabric and quilting needs. The shop is equipped with impressive high-end fabrics, batting, notions, patterns, and gifts for the sewer and quilter in your life. We're always on site to offer friendly and professional advice and support to all of your projects. Follow us on Facebook. We'll be taking our mobile shop location near you. So this is a very unique idea. Now they are located in Newfoundland. So if you're in Newfoundland, and Newfoundland is a fairly rural province of Canada. So I think they have a great idea. They come to you. So let's take a look though about their online shop and let's see what they have to offer us. So we'll go to shop. And they have looks like a very nice compact layout. Product categories, they have bag making supplies, clearance sale, fabric, quilts, kits, machine embroidery, new arrivals, notions, and novelty and gift. So let's pop into their fabric, of course, because that's usually the thing we're most interested in. They start off with some 108-inch cotton wide backing. Have flannel, batik, blenders, collections, fabrics, color, etc. Metallics. Okay, well, let's check out prices. Let's go to collections and see what we have here. And they have, it looks like a fairly good selection. If you look down here along the side, let's see. They do sell a lot of Northcott. Let's take a look at Chroma by Northcott. I love that line. They have Fat Quarter bundles, and they have it by the meter as well. And it's $14.99 per meter. That is really a good price, a very good price. Well, that is a blender, more or less. Let's check something that's more of a print. Let's go Northcott. No, we were in Northcott. We'll go to fabric. And let's take a look at something like the shimmer. Okay, now the prices do vary here because we have, well, that's wide back. That's a good price for wide back, $23.99 a meter for wide back. That's really good. $17.99, $14.99. Prices are excellent. Prices are really, really good. So that brings us to the question of shipping. So let us see what we can find about that. That's their address in Newfoundland, as already mentioned. They don't seem to have a section on shipping, but let's take a look. Here we go. Flat rate shipping is calculated at checkout for domestic shipping within Canada. Free shipping in Canada on orders over $300. If you need shipping out of Canada, please contact the store directory. Directly. All customs, duties, and taxes are responsible customer. So yeah, that's fairly high on the free shipping, but you can understand it's Newfoundland, things are going to cost a little bit more. So they have a flat rate shipping. So I guess we're going to have to go in and do a little fake. So let's go to the collections. Let's get some canvas. We're going to buy that. We're going to buy a couple of meters. We'll add it to the cart and proceed to checkout. Okay. Online checkout is currently disabled. Oh, that isn't good. I don't like that. Well, here I was getting really excited about the whole concept of being in a trailer and having a good selection and good prices. And now you have to call them if you want to place an order. So I have no idea what it would cost me. Let's get rid of that order. In shipping, I'm taking off 2 points for that because that is very disturbing. And that's a long distance call as well. Okay, so we're down from a 10 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10 on that. So let's go back to shop and let's check their bag making supplies, zippers, hardware. They have the usual stuff at the usual prices for that, but a good selection of bits and pieces for bag making. Okay, that's impressive. Let's look at they have a few little novelty items. They have a bag pattern. Okay, let's go back to shop. Let's check out their clearance sale. Their prices are already pretty low. $15.99. This is a clearance. That doesn't seem like a sale in comparison to the prices they're already charging. So yeah, that's if maybe those fabrics are a little bit more in regular price than the $15.99. I mean, but looking at what they charge already for fabric, I don't think so. Okay, I'm going to take a half point for that because that kind of rubs me the wrong way. You got me excited about a sale. It doesn't seem like much of a sale in my way of thinking. Okay, let's go back into the shop. And they have finished quilts. Just out of curiosity, what do they charge? They have 2. Yeah, what you would expect. Okay. And let's look at kits. Craftsman Quit. They have, yeah, okay, well, a lot of them are sold out. I often wonder when a company puts on a website that they have sold out of something, but it's still there and it says it's sold out. Does that mean they're going to get more of them or not? I don't know. That's kind of confusing. But this isn't the only place that does that. I've found that in other places. Kit-wise, I'm not seeing anything that's grabbing me, but might be something there for some people. Prices, yeah, I guess what you would expect for kits. Okay, what else can we take a look at? Machine embroidery. This is interesting. Well, they had one thing that looked like it was a project by Riley Blake. It sold out, and then they have some scissors. Not too impressed by their selection there. Yeah, okay. Now, what else can we look at? New arrivals, notions, yeah, novelty gift. New arrivals, um, some products, a mixture, some threads. Okay, it looks like they sell Aurifil, um, 18.99. That's about the going rate in Canada for thread, but they don't really seem to have a selection of threads that I can see here. Let's see, go back up here to the index on the side. And let's see, Aurifil, there's 9. Okay, so this is what they have to choose from in Aurifil. Not a wonderful selection when it comes to thread. Okay, anything else? Well, they have services. Let's see what those are. They have quilting classes, fabric sales, retreats, quilting classes. Yeah, nothing there. Yeah, nothing there. Yep, fabric sales, nothing there. Okay, so they have that section, but there is nothing there. So, and I question the fact that they're mobile. How can they have classes? Because I don't think you can get people in that trailer, and I don't think they have a brick and mortar shop. So I'm not impressed by that you have this, but they don't list anything. So yeah, I'm taking off half a point for that as well. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's all I can say about it. So my overall rating for them is 7 out of 10, but I'm almost thinking it might be more of a 6 out of 10 because not sure about this whole shipping business, how that works and what it's going to cost you. And I think it's kind of unique that they have it, their store is mobile. However, for those of us that order online, that's neither here nor there, is it? So yeah, um, let's split the difference. I'm going to give the Fat Quarter Quilts and Fabric in Newfoundland a 6.5 as an overall rating. Okay, so that brings me to the end of this episode. So just a reminder to Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen on Wednesday. Stephen, oops, thumbs up. Thank you, mysterious person that gave me that. Um, yeah, Stephanie and Stephen sewing Wednesday, 9 a.m. start time. Friday, the next episode or the next part in the series, Stephen Makes a Shirt, comes out. Stephen and Walter live this coming week is going to be, and almost forgot to tell you this, is going to be on 1 hour earlier. Usually we're on at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be on at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Why? Because my family's coming here for Thanksgiving dinner at about 5 o'clock. So have to get that in a little bit earlier. So, and if you forget or whatever, you can watch the replay. So no biggie. Also on Sunday, busy day, Russ of Quilt Meets World is having his next sewing shenanigans session. That is hard to say. Sewing shenanigans, yeah, session. And go to his YouTube channel. I believe he will have posted the video link for that. I think he'll do that tomorrow on Wednesday on his vlog. He's also, for those of you on his mailing list, will send it out to you via that as well. In fact, I think he's already sent it out because I got mine already. And yeah, that'll be a lot of fun too. So lots of things coming up this week for all of you. And of course, don't forget to register if you're interested in coming for the fall retreat. Just send me an email. My email address is in the show notes. Click on there's a section there you click on that will take you to my email address. Just give me your first and last name and the email address you wish me to contact you at for updates on the retreat. And that's all you need to do. And I'll send you back a confirmation, say, yeah, you're in, you got a spot, yay. And just as a chance here, I usually have a waiting list as well when it fills up. And if by chance you snoozed, you haven't really losed at that point in time, I will put you on the waiting list, because there's always people for one reason or another who legitimately have to drop out, and they let me know, and I fill in the spot from the waiting list. So yeah, lots of opportunities. So I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you later. Bye for now.